This is the level of imbalance Israel faces when you combine the forces of Syria, Jordan, Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Manpower 4-1, artillery 7-1, tanks 3-1, and combat aircraft over 2-1. These countries in turn can seek support from the entire Arab League. The total stockpile of arms bought by Arab countries has cost $150 billion.
The Arab countries are not only buying weapons in vast quantity, but of super quality from East and West. The Soviet equipment they are receiving is also state-of-the-art.
In the past, Israel has taken comfort from its technological edge. Recent Arab purchases have clearly reduced this safety margin. Arab armies are now highly mobile and have great offensive potential. Arms trends are towards greater range, accuracy and destructive power.
A new phase in the arms race, long-range surface-to-surface missiles. The Saudis have Chinese strategic missiles, range 2,500 kilometers. The Syrians have Soviet-supplied Scud-B and SS-21s. Chemical warheads now in production in Syria can be fitted. And Israel's population centers are directly threatened.
A special threat is the purchase of control, communication and intelligence gathering equipment, mainly from the West. 5 AWACS are operating from Saudi Arabia. They could supply battle intelligence to Arab armies from such long ranges that they need never appear to be directly involved in a war. This fighter control could mean an Arab airstrike potential, which would cover the whole of Israel.
We are in Tel Aviv. Imagine an aircraft taking off from Damascus in the north or from Mafraq Air Base in Jordan in the east. Minutes flying time from Israel's border. Until it reaches our border, it's anyone's guess whether that aircraft is on a routine mission, on a training flight, or whether it's hostile. We cannot react. But once it crosses our border, a countdown begins.
In less than 60 seconds, the capital, Jerusalem, is under attack. 40 seconds later, Ben Gurion Airport, our lifeline with the outside world. In less than 4 minutes, Tel Aviv, the coastline. These are the hair-trigger margins with which we live.
But air attack is only part of our problem. This is where we are exposed to the greatest danger, a frontline position in the Golan Heights. This is an Israeli lookout post on the border with Syria, eyeball to eyeball, with a neighbor actively preparing to overrun us. This is where the lack of strategic balance is suddenly very real. You're not just talking statistics, you feel that the margins of defense are very narrow indeed. I'm visiting this post with Brigadier General Yossi Ben Hanan.
This area looks rather quiet, almost pastoral today, but unfortunately I can assure you that a kilometer behind us, in bunkers, in camps, in trenches, over 2,000 tanks out of artillery pieces, infantry, anti-tank capability, crossing equipment, all ready to attack westward, and in a matter of a very short notice. Since it is a standing regular army, they can jump on those tanks and attack, and this plateau will be filled with fire and smoke, and a very limited number of standing regular army units of ours will try to stop this surprise attack, if it happens, and wait until our main bulk of the reserve units will be mobilized and come to reinforce the defensive line. So I would say that the main daily defensive dilemma of the IDF in the Golan Heights is how to decide what will be the number of regular standing army units that we have to deploy here in order to deal with the first attack, with the initial surprise attack, and how we can guarantee the reinforcement of these very small regular army units by the reserve components. This is the daily dilemma of the defense of the Golan Heights.
So how do we keep some sort of balance in the strategic equation? How do we maintain our deterrence? Well, our strategic ties with the United States are very important, but it is up to us to ensure early warning, to update our weapon systems, and keep our forces at a high level of combat readiness. This is a combined arms exercise for reservists who make up 2/3 of Israel's defense forces. Unlike the Arabs, Israel cannot afford to maintain huge standing armies. In addition to 3 years of national service, we all give up at least another 4 years of our life to the reserves. A few weeks each year, right up to the age of 54, we have to leave our farms, factories, and offices with great disruption to business, career, and family life. Efficiency of mobilization is paramount. The reserves have to be transported from their homes to any battlefront very quickly indeed. The difficulty is knowing when to mobilize, when the threat is real. Israel cannot afford to finance a response to false alarm after false alarm. The edge of deterrence has always been Israel's key defense. It has produced specialized weapons like the Merkava tank, designed for the regional terrain and developed to protect its crews and to transport troops undercover. Israel is highly sensitive to loss of life. Everyone has a brother, a son, a cousin, or a boyfriend in service. Casualties are felt very deeply throughout the community. The question on everyone's mind is not whether we will win. We have got to win, but at what cost of human lives? This issue does not seem to overly concern Arab military planners, as the Iran-Iraq war again clearly demonstrates. Israel's chief of staff is Lieutenant General Dan Shomron. He has been active in the Middle East's military environment for over 30 years, and he believes that Israel has an advantage which offsets Arab supremacy of armament, manpower, and territory.
היתרון היחסי שיש לנו במשוואה האסטרטגי הוא כולו במישור של האיכות האנושית של האדם.
The relative advantage we have in the strategic equation is entirely in the human factor, the quality of our people. Our officers and soldiers are raised in a democratic and open society. They are trained to think, accept responsibility, and take the initiative. Our society is also technologically developed, so our men are capable of exploiting the full potential of our weaponry, even to invent weapons. They come up with surprises all the time in the course of battle. If you combine all of these factors with our advanced weaponry, our small and highly qualified army can overcome much larger armies equipped with massive amounts of arms. Naturally, we would prefer to prevent war by sheer deterrence, and we hope we'll never need to prove yet again that although we are small, we still have the edge in war.
We've looked at some of the threats building up around us, and we are left with a lot of questions we keep asking ourselves while we live our daily lives. How do we maintain the strength to dissuade Arab countries from hostilities or all out war against us, and simultaneously keep building our civilian industries, our agriculture? How do we keep constantly alert and have enough early warning to mobilize our reserves against an attack and still not disrupt too much our people's careers, businesses, and education? And while building our country, how do we gain time to find overall answers which could fulfill the hopes we all had on that day in March 1979?